If you're into animated series that have elements of like political thriller, but are also very fun and very smart, then I highly recommend to you Max's Common Side Effects. This was a TV show that someone recommended to me. There's been 4 episodes out thus far, so it's a brand new series and new episodes come out each week. And what it's about is that there's this individual, this man, who stumbles upon this mushroom that has evolved essentially, and in order to, stay alive because of all the chemicals in the dirt. And because of all of this, it actually has these incredible healing properties where, it can essentially heal anything, or so we think thus far. And so it's this big, big discovery. But obviously that is in opposition to the drug enforcement, the DEI, as well as the Big Pharma, right? And ironically enough, one of the people that he stumbles into is his former high school lab partner. This is a woman, and, it's evident that he had a crush on her, or she certainly meant something to him. And so he's trying to get her help in all of this because he kind of has no one else to turn to for the most part. And yet she works for Big Pharma, right? So she's trying, and she's one of those people that's grappling with this idea of like, okay, I need money because she's got personal issues that she's dealing with, but, she knows it's morally wrong what they're doing and things of that nature. And yet how does she, square that circle or whatever the saying is? Essentially, she's conflicted, right? And so that's kind of what the story is about. People are chasing this individual. They're saying that he's dangerous and stuff like that. So we don't quite know his past too much. And of course, it's a very, like, the audience surrogate is the woman in all of this, because at least for me, I feel kind of like her, like where we're conflicted. Do you go with this? Do you go with that? Because she believes she might have been able to change the system from the inside out, and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting premise. It's a very smart premise. The person who had recommended it to me, I know they love animated TV shows, but I didn't know that this would be up their alley. So even if what I'm saying isn't quite like exactly in line with what you're used to watching, I recommend at least watching one episode and see if you like it. You might be surprised. And one of the reasons it was recommended to me was because, I know I'm not an expert by any means, but certainly more than the average person. I know about like ayahuasca and various sort of forms of treatment in terms of, medicinal and things like that. And, kind of using that as a form of therapy. This just kind of extracts that and takes it to a slightly bigger extreme, right? Where, it literally is like this magical mushroom that, you can essentially die, but if you feed it to somebody, you come back alive. Like it's really amazing. Now, as the title implies, common side effects, by having this mushroom out there, right? Like people he's a person of interest to a lot of people, and a lot of people want him dead or whatever else, But also, for the most part, we also don't necessarily know all the side effects of this mushroom, right? Like it seems good on paper, but everything has a drawback. And so it'll be interesting to, learn that as it goes on. So I'm hooked. Each episode is really well done and generally ends on a cliffhanger and makes you wanting more, so maybe it's worth waiting and then binging. Or if you're like me, at this point I'm hooked, so I gotta, wait week to week for the season to complete. But I'm curious to see where it all goes. And so for all those reasons, if anything that I've said sounds appealing, please check out Max's Common Side Effects. And when you do, let me know what you think.